guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing an October plan with me video. I'm just going to be drawing out my my bullet journal for the month of October. I've already done some sketches in here, done some layouts, so we'll just be going through that and just sort of goal setting for October. The first thing I always do is I make a monthly start kind of page. It both kind of divides up the notebook and it kind of gives character to that month. So this, obviously, October is the month for Halloween and really the start of fall. So I've got a pumpkin here and some candles and some other fun stuff. But I've also got a big ink splot because it's also Inktober, and I know a lot of my time is going to be taken up by producing and filming and drawing for my Inktober videos that I plan to do. Not a video for every prompt, but I will cover all the prompts in the videos. That is to say, there might be some videos that have more than one prompt in them, so more than one day at a time, but each and every prompt will have a drawing. So not only will I be taking on the drawing challenge, but also in producing, filming and creating. I don't really want to say producing because I'm not a video producer. Hi Sigmund. Producing videos for Inktober. You'll see I have a special spread specifically for that. I'm using a Micron point. What is this? Is this the 0.05 marker? Actually in sepia. I didn't even mean to do that, but I do like the sepia toned things. I'm just going to skip over here and write out a quick calendar. I only really use this for reference for what days different things go on, like the 9th. What day of the week is that? I very rarely use these small intro calendars for noting anything. Cat. For noting anything but birthdays or holidays, just to remind myself if I have work off, which I don't. But you know, it's a good reference point, especially when I'm in a meeting and like need to look at, okay, when's my vacation or what have you. That's where I put that. So I'm just going to leave that there, and I'll leave blank space here. I don't actually have anything planned for October other than a lot of work stuff. And I normally try to keep like things that would affect my work schedule by me not being there on this sheet. So birthdays, doctor's appointments, planned leave, that sort of thing. Now you may ask yourself, okay, so you're going in ink and you're making an ink blot. Like, why aren't you gonna go paint that with black ink? You've already done a video about how to use black ink. Well, tell you what, this notebook is very good with bleed through in general, but I don't think any dot grid notebook is going to stand up to actual India ink painted in a big blob like this directly onto it. So I'm just going to give the implication. Probably not even going to color very much this month, just because it's a big month. I'm not going to have time to keep up any sort of theme that I may make. So I'm just going to keep it simple. That's my intro page for the month. I've got a lot of work stuff here to work on. I'm just going to quickly go ahead and fill in this calendar. That is to say, write in this calendar. I'm not gonna actually fill it in until I get to work. But it's much easier to go ahead and do this in advance than to try and do this sort of last minute as you're trying to actually make the plans that you need to make. You'll notice I've already gone in and sort of marked where the lines should start and end. That's just for my sanity. I know that not everybody actually draws borders around their calendars. I actually prefer how that looks, but I cannot for the life of me keep my information straight if I do that. And since what I use my bullet journal is for kind of very practical things, like planning my day and making sure I get my work done, not necessarily more creative things. I know a lot of people use their bullet journal as kind of a creative outlet. I really can't afford to misread or misunderstand, for example, my calendar. Like I said, this is actually a calendar specifically for one project that I have that's coming up in October. And, you know, it's going to take up most of my work month, entirely devoted to it. So I just want to make sure that I have enough space and a clarity on that schedule. What I'll probably do on Monday is go ahead and print out the project plan, the Gantt chart from the project plan, and basically transfer the tasks I'm responsible for into here. Okay, I'll leave that be. This is just more work stuff about what goes on here. And now we get to the fun of it. Here's the Inktober spread. If you're just starting your bullet journal for the first time, you don't have to do this stuff. There's a lot of bullet journaling. You'll see there's a ton of people who do this. There you can get all sorts of inspiration online, but I don't actually recommend looking for that much inspiration. If what you need is a task list dynamic to-do list, basically, that's all bullet journaling is. If you look online, you'll see that people are tracking basically every aspect of their lives, like what books they want to read, or how much money they've spent this month, whatever. That's great. That does not work for me. I have tried it. Those spreads always remain empty for me. So what I really need is just a place to capture what I'm responsible for, and then also capture any ideas or things that come up at the spur of the moment, like on the fly, because that happens quite a lot, especially at work, where you're in a meeting and you know you thought you were just there to present something and then you'd leave or what have you, and then it turns out no, you have like 8 action items out of that meeting. So for me, a bullet journal is a place that allows me to record those to-do lists that might otherwise get missed. I'm actually a computer analyst, which means part of my job is to help fix people's computers, and then part of my job is to be responsible for projects related to people's computers at the organization I work for. So I actually do a lot of project planning and communication plan writing, all that sort of project ephemera. So I use my bullet journal to really help with the idea and requirements gathering and a lot of the initial project phases, where it's easy to miss some key components. For this Inktober spread, what I've done is I've obviously listed all the days in October. Then I took the prompt list and I'm rewriting that here. And then I'm going to have columns for whether or not I've already finished the art, the edit of the video, the voiceover for the video, and if I went through the scheduling the publishing of the video. I don't know if you guys know this, but you can schedule it out in advance. So I plan to work ahead in Inktober just because it's not going to be feasible for me to come home every night and do one of these a day. The drawing part would probably be okay. I don't plan on doing big drawings. They're probably all going to be on 4x6 or 6x8 paper, just to help contain the amount of work this would be otherwise. But even if I, kept it that small, the filming and the voiceover and all that stuff, it just doesn't happen every day. Voiceovers, I really have to wait until the weekend, and my husband is willing to watch my son for a couple hours so that I can film voiceovers, because otherwise he normally actually often sits behind me in my what I call my craft room, which is the room I do this in. So obviously that's plays with Legos and what have you, but obviously that's not really conducive to filming or recording voiceovers. I'm just going to draw some lines here so I know where to put my check boxes. Okay. So now as I finish things, I can just check them off. And I know how much I have left. Whew, it's going to be quite a month. And then I also have some other October videos that I want to produce. Which may seem crazy since I'm planning to have a video almost every day in October already. But I've included today's video on here. And I'm going to do an Inktober intro video later this week to kind of describe what it is, why I'm doing it. So there's also going to be a NaNoWriMo prep, because November is NaNoWriMo, and so I want to prepare and discuss that. I'm going to do a Making Dynamic Monsters video, which is about D&D monsters. And then I'm going to, on the 31st, on Halloween, have a video about making terrifying monsters. And then this is the same sort of choices up here. So I think I'm actually going to do the plan with me on 9/23, assuming I get this edited in time. The Inktober issue will be on 9/20. Intro will be on 9/28. NaNoWriMo prep will be 10/22. Dynamic Monsters will be 10/29. Terrifying Monsters 10/31. And then sometime in November, probably the first Friday in November, what is that day? The 2nd. So I'll do a Inktober lessons learned. Uh, 11, 2. And then I have some personal goals, which for me are Halloween decorating. Last couple of years, since my son was so young, I actually didn't decorate for Halloween. He's kind of into it now. He's 3, so I want to do a Halloween costume for him and myself. I don't need to make it, but you know, I need to think about it. And then this seems really advanced, but I want to purchase a new Christmas tree. We have a fake Christmas tree that is no longer functions, unfortunately. And I know that they'll go on sale in October, not in November, because then it'd be too close to Christmas. So, all right, guys. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for listening to me ramble. I'm excited for October. It's going to be a crazy month, very busy, not just with all of this, which is more than enough on the personal level, but I also have that full-time job that I do, and 2 hours of commute each day, and that's all of this. It's going to be probably a pretty stressful month, so at least I'll have a good outlet. And I admit that I've already started work on Inktober and try to get ahead of the boat a little bit. I'm also probably going to continue to do it on the weekends, film several videos, and then, you know, release them on the day that they refer to, rather than releasing them all at once. But yeah, I'm really excited. I really appreciate you stopping by and hanging out with me while I prepare for October. And let me know if you have any questions about bullet journaling, about planning, about project management, which is actually kind of what this is, because I do that a lot as well. I have some experience there. And if you're interested, this is a Dingbats notebook. This is like one of their wildlife series. I definitely recommend it. It has a lot of, it's sturdy enough to take watercolor. This is watercolor without warping too badly. It doesn't bleed through too much. See, here's a food budget and a spending budget I've literally never filled out. It's just not how I use the bullet journal. But it really does hold up to a lot of a tough life, a lot of beating. I'm also a huge fan of stickers, so I was thinking about using stickers this month. I got this sticky pack. I belong to the Sticky Club. Where they send you some stickers every month, which is super nerdy, but then again, look at those, like, breakfast stickers. It's adorable. Oh gosh, and here's like dogs and hats. Anyhow, so you'll probably see more of that sort of thing in the future. I really enjoy having control of my life, at least in some small fashion, in a planner. It looks like I'm almost done with this one, so I better buy a new one soon. You guys have a great day. Thanks for stopping by.